Hi, Facebook peeps. Okay, so here I am in my hotel room that I'm waiting to have our board meeting. I'm on a health insurance trust, and I thought I would read my blog that's going to come out tomorrow, tonight, so it's all ready to go. It's another nod to my mother because Mother's Day is coming up this Sunday, and this one is titled Important Lessons from Mom. Every year since I've been blogging, the Friday before Mother's Day, I write about my mother who passed away over 5 years ago, coming up on 6 in July. There are so many lessons my mother taught me, and today I'm going to talk about one particularly important one. When I was 9 years old, my mother roused all of us from bed on a Saturday morning to have a serious talk. My father stood to the side with a grim expression on his face. The horrible D word was uttered. They sat us down and explained that we would be going to live with my grandmother and my grandfather in Baltimore. Dad would visit, but we all wouldn't live together. She sent us back upstairs to get ready, and I probably had the most tears in my eyes because I was Dad's fishing and hunting buddy. Sometimes we would hear my mother and father talk through the heating vent in my older sister's room, but today none of us had the heart to try and listen. Besides, we really never heard clearly what they were saying. We only occasionally caught a few words. We didn't end up going to Baltimore because my parents talked some more and Mom decided to give Dad another chance. Earlier that year, she had finally gotten her driver's license after a good friend had continued to instill more confidence in my mom. It seems almost unreal that she wouldn't have a driver's license at the age of 30, but that's how it was back then. A lot of women stayed home and were completely dependent on their husbands in every way. With her license in hand, my mother started down the road to her own independence and personal development. She got into therapy soon after this life-changing moment, finished her education, became a special education teacher, and turned into the strong, independent woman I came to know in my teens and adulthood. She continually instilled that sense of independence into all of us. She'd learned a valuable lesson in the first 11 plus years of marriage to my father. She would never, ever feel trapped again. Once she had her own career, she could walk out that door and never look back. She could give him that ultimatum and stick to it. I'd like to think that my father never stepped out on her again, but I suppose they will both take that truth to the grave. Neither one of my parents were particularly good at telling the truth 100% of the time. Little white lies to save your children from pain was a lesson they'd learned from their parents. While my mother attended Loyola University, I would travel to Chicago with her, and on occasion during her trip, I would quiz her. Science was not a topic she enjoyed, and I remember once standing quietly to the side while she debriefed with her college friends after an exam. They wondered if the answer they had selected was correct. At 10, I piped up and told them what the correct answer was. My mother smiled. I was a whiz in the sciences, and I had been quizzing her on the drive in. It was easy for me to remember that particular fact. Now that I'm all grown up and nearing full retirement, that lesson has served me well. I left home at 17 and never looked back. I've been independent all my life. It is ironic that at this stage in my life, I feel a smidgen of dependence with my wife. It's like an uncomfortable pair of shoes. It doesn't quite fit. Perhaps that's why I'm not ready to fully retire and continue to look for that final job. The need for independence remains deeply ingrained. How can I possibly tie anything to my books now as I usually do? How about if enough people buy my books, maybe I won't feel dependent on my wife anymore. Okay, that's a joke. If you want to check out my books, you know the drill. Click on the links below. Of course, you can't click on the links in the video, but you can certainly go to my blog. Have a great weekend, everyone. And, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.